going into the biggest fight and the hardest hit that I've been hit with this whole year. And it was just a month after that breakup. And this one is really knocked me down. My grandfather passed away. My biggest inspiration and my biggest role model in life. My hero, really. He raised me when I was young. And he was the wisest man I ever knew. The most resolute. He was a true sage. And that's where all my wisdom came from me, from his teachings. He had a great mind and even greater soul and character. And when he passed away, I couldn't even go home. All my family was there. They could say goodbye, but I didn't get a chance to. In his deathbed, I didn't even get to see him, not even touch him. And I don't know. And out of all my family, I'm the only one that didn't get to do that. I don't know why. But when he left, my life started. Because he always believed in me. Out of this whole world, he was the only one that always saw greatness in me. Even when I was on my lowest, he would always encourage me. He would always say that I was destined. I remember a conversation I had when I went back home and I was at my lowest, and he said, "You're destined for greatness." I'm telling you that now. I prophesied that I'm your grandfather and I see greatness within you. When I didn't even see anything within myself at that time, like I was in such a dark place, and he saw the light in me. And when he left this world, I was still in the same spot. Like I wasted years of my life just being nothing, empty, being a bum. And that's when I got off my seat. That's when I started rising. And I said, no matter what happens, win, lose, whatever may come my way, I'm going to keep on going and I'm going to make him proud. I'm going to achieve great things and I will become great and he will see that. And that's when I started working on myself, pursuing everything that I left behind. Number one is my boxing. I left my boxing career 6 years ago. Many different reasons presented itself. Obstacles, challenges, things that stop you inside the ring and outside of it too. But ultimately, I don't blame anybody for my own mistakes. In reality, I just quit on myself. I could have still kept on pushing. And now, I'm pushing for that. I'm pursuing that. And I won't stop until I win. And I will win. And I'm going to make my grandfather proud. Because he always believed in me. He always knew and thought I'd do great things. But somewhere along the line, I lost sight of that. But even to his last conversation that I had with him, he always kept on pushing me. He always kept on believing in me. He knew I was down, but he always kept on uplifting me. So I just want to make him proud. And with that loss, that really boosted me, lit a fire within me. That's insatiable. I'm going to just keep on going. I've got my own podcast now in order to help people the way he always wanted us to help them. He always said, be a light of this world. Lead people in the right path and don't let the weak be defenseless. Always cater to them. Help the poor and the needy. And always uplift those who need it most. Somewhere along the line, I just forgot all of those. I let my own emotions engulf me and overcast a shadow upon me that took all of those light away from me. When my grandfather died, I waged a war upon my weaknesses. Everything that made me weak, I fought and I battled them hard until I overcame them. And now I'm a completely different man. And it was tough going through it. I remember the days when I was morbidly obese, working night, because I work in the city and I live quite far out, so I have to take the train and I won't finish until 12 and then get back up at 4. This year is probably the time where I'm most alone. Like year is probably the loneliest time I've ever spent with myself. Just with no one, nobody. Just walking this land, walking this earth. But I never felt that. Every single step I felt someone besides me. And I know that my grandfather is watching over me and my grandmother. And I really just hope to make them proud. So whatever it is that I couldn't give to them, I will give to the world, those who need it. It was the promises. I will keep my promises that I made to them. And I will make sure that the whole world will see that. And those promises was to change the world for the better, to heal and be a light of this world. And that promise was to be a light of this world. And I won't ever let darkness ever take that away from me. Now, when I was preparing for my fight, my comeback fight, I was so excited. Everything was going great. I've lost all the weight, but it's also the year I've lost everything. I've lost the most. And just as I thought everything was going good, I was preparing to get a big fight. One that I won't reveal, not just yet, because it's still yet to happen. 2024 is the year. But anyhow, I was preparing for my fight in October. And I just got in a sparring session. Just a typical routine sparring session. One that I've done so many times. just sparring. And all of a sudden, my shoulder got dislocated. And that was tough. I was like, dang. I was like, ah. I remember just screaming, not even in pain. I couldn't feel anything, but just in the thought of like, this is going to delay me for a few months. And that was so frustrating. But I remember going to that session because you always have some sort of epiphanies, like visions prior to things happening. Well, I've always had them. I always not see things happening, but feel them when something is about to happen. And I remember that was just a routine thing because I just finished my class that I was teaching, a boxing class in the gym that I work at, and then I was gonna go sparring to my boxing gym. And I remember walking there and everything was just going wrong. Like, I forgot my lock, then I forgot my keys, and then my train was delayed. And then my war ball that I always have and keep with me, I've lost. And I'm like, what is happening here? And then I just like walking in there in the dark. It felt as if everything was slowing down. It's weird to say, but I don't know. Like you could see the future in the past. Even though I felt that way, I still kept on going. And I said, yeah, but I remember thinking to myself, like, yeah, but what if this is a great sparring session? What if this is, a sparring session that can help me? But when I dislocated my shoulder, I remember I was in a city. I didn't really know anyone there, so I was just alone. I had to take an Uber to go to the hospital. And I remember that was a freezing cold night. And it was dark and it was raining and the line was so long. I mean, if you ever had a dislocated shoulder, I mean, it's painful. It's agonizing. And I was waiting there for hours. And I mean, I was nearly passing out. I was literally nearly passing out from the pain. And I just remember thinking to myself though, like, I remember the first few times I dislocated my shoulder, it felt like that was the end of it. But this time it felt like it was just a redirection. Like it was just something that you had to go through. And I felt the presence within me. Like even though I was in so much pain, I was calm. Like I was calm during the procedure, during the surgery, putting my shoulder back in. I was really just calm about everything. And yeah, it may be painful at the time because you just don't realize the future and what it holds. Is this the last time you're ever gonna box? I mean, where I haven't even started my career yet, and then it's ending already. It's like, come on, what's happening? But I just trusted him, and that in the right time, the opportunity will come. And really, I didn't see it then, but after that, I focused more on my podcast, as you see now. Started creating more, started doing more, researching and writing more. And I've done so much now. And you see, God redirected me from that. It's not that it's never going to happen again. 2024 will still be the year I will win. But He's redirected me to focus on this for the meantime because He wants to build something before I become something. So even though God took my arm, He gave me a voice, because ultimately that's where the inspiration will come from. All your life you've been doubting yourself, that you never actually saw the potential in you. But in reality, you are made to be great. So I've learned to trust. Whatever happens, it happens for a reason. And that reason is to benefit us. Everything always works out for the best if you have God by your side. Have faith, He will always take you through. No matter how weak you feel, He will always keep on walking beside you. He'll never leave you. I left Him many times throughout my life. Chose to walk upon paths with people and exchange God for the company of people. Reality is that every single one of those people I've left, but God is still by my side. So if you want something perennial, if you want something that lasts and always stays by your side, choose God. He'll never leave you. No matter what, even if you leave Him, He'll still follow you and He will still watch over you. And I used to be mad because it's like, I see other people my age or older succeeding, and I always question God, like, why do I feel left behind? But now I realize I wasn't left behind. I was set free. God freed me to do what He planned for me. Because if I didn't, and if I followed other people's plans, then I'll get lost in doing something I don't want, even if I achieve success in it. So it's a blessing in disguise. All challenges are. You just have to reveal it through your actions and overcome those challenges. Face them and they will face you. Face the challenges and they will reveal who you are. So as for you, whatever challenges you may come through this year, understand that everything that happens to you, the challenges, the struggles, the pain, and all the tests is meant to raise you. Not to break you, but to raise you. The ultimate purpose for your life is growth. And it's growing, evolving day by day through the challenges we face. And that is the metamorphosis of your soul. The heartbreaks that you experience, they strengthen your heart. With every break of your heart adds a piece to your puzzle. Be strong amidst the trials. They're not there to break you. The flood doesn't come to drown you. They're there to make you rise. So float and rise with it. When the flood comes, the only people that will drown are those that are stuck down. So be free from everything. When the flood rises, you will float and you will rise with it. I want you to always remember this quote this year. Rise and rise until lambs become lions. And honestly, there were so many days that I would go through that I'd wake up at 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm just like, oh, I can't do this. And I just pray. And I said, sometimes they're long. Sometimes I just don't have the energy and I just don't have, I'm empty and I have nothing. You know what I would pray during those times? I would just say, God, please carry me through. Carry me through. And he always did. I always made it out. And I don't know how I made it out, but I know who carried me through. So this year and the next and in the future years, I'll know. No matter how tough and no matter how hard things get, I survived the hardest year of my life because of God, because he carried me through and he never left my side. So that's my testimony. And hopefully that helps you. Now, you don't have to believe in God in order to see his word. If you don't believe in it, that's okay. But it's there for you, for me, and everybody. It's accessible for everyone. So if you're going through hard times, tough times, and you don't have anyone to run to, pray, run to him. Because every single person in this world you have to run to. God never left your side. He's just there beside you. You don't have to run to him. You don't even have to call to him. You but merely have to talk to him. He's right there. You just ain't been looking. So hopefully you enjoyed this episode of Taz Talks and found out a little bit more about myself. Hopefully my story can help light the fire within you and inspire you in whatever way it may do. And inspire you in whatever way. And this coming year, 2024, your one mission is to metamorphosize. That means to grow your soul. And you can only do so through the challenges you face in life. So face them with courage. Don't run away from them. They will build you so that you can finally reveal who you truly are and see who you are within.